I've spoken before about transition and how the importance of shifting pressure to your back, from your back foot to your front foot, is critical to getting it right. Let's have a look today about what the role of the body is, the order of movement, and how you can get it right, because it's so easy to bring that transition undone. Hi, I'm Peter Knight. I've created this channel, Peter Knight Golf, to help you become the best golfer you can be. And just to make sure that you don't miss any of these videos, first of all, hit the subscribe button here on the screen or below, and also the grey bell notification icon. Let's talk about the body's role in probably the second most critical point in the golf swing. If impact is the most critical, then transition is probably the second most, because the way you move your body during transition, the way you shift pressure, which I've talked about in a different video. If you haven't seen it, there's a link below in the description. Let's have a look today at what the body does. If I move my body out of order, then it can affect my balance, it can affect my swing path, and certainly affect the direction of the shot, to say nothing of power and consistency. So let's have a look and see what order of movement there is. See, I don't know whether you can hear that. The Kookaburras in the background are obviously enjoying the day and probably enjoying the video. Maybe they're just supporting me in saying how important transition is. So let's have a look at the movement. From the top of my swing, as I begin my downswing, I want my lower body to move first, then my upper body, then my arms, and finally the club. When I'm making this movement, everything is almost moving simultaneously. There's a very, very small difference, but critical difference in the order of movement. So let's practice a couple of ways that we can start to get this transition right. The first is I want to reduce the amount of activity that my arms have got. So when I swing the club back, if I'm holding it in my fingertips and move my arm back and forwards, you can see that the club actually creates like a hinge type motion. If I make that change of direction sudden enough, the club will actually hit me. When I'm swinging the golf club, now I've got two hands on the club. As I go back and through, I can feel when I get that change of direction, my hands are so passive that the club actually hinges. So that's the first part. That's getting the arms and the club to work in sync. Now what I need to do is look at how my body's going to work. So now if I swing the club back, the first thing I want to do is have my lower body move. So first of all, can I, not with a full swing, but with a half swing, can I get back to here and definitely move my lower body before my upper body moves? And you can see my upper body's really not moving at all, but my lower body is. Like I said, during the swing, the movements are so closely overlapped to look like they're almost occurring simultaneously, but there is a difference. So now if I combine that feel of the club creating its own hinge, my arms being very light and my hips going first, now I can start to feel that my hips actually lead almost to the point that when my hips change direction in the downswing, that's when the club actually starts to hinge. So getting all of this together does take some practice. So I'll swing the club back, let my hips go first, and feel like my arms and the club are trailing behind that movement. Now when I first do it, I'll do it fairly slowly, just to start to try and build in the feeling of that movement. So I'm not going to hit the ball hard, but just to start to get the feel of how that's going to work. Now obviously doing it at speed is going to take a bit more practice, but when you get used to it, after doing a lot of these little shots, you'll find that things like swing path, especially for those of you who slice, you'll be starting the downswing with your hands and arms first. That will immediately throw the club out of its correct orbit. So again, with a little bit more speed this time, I'm still looking for my lower body to lead the downswing movement. And I get a pretty good shot away. Now, that's taken some practice. I've done it probably hundreds of thousands of times. I have experienced difficulty, or recall experiencing difficulty when I first started, maybe just as you do. But you'll find that with some practice, you'll get used to it. It is a change in pattern that will take some time to get used to, but I'll tell you what, the rewards in getting it right, they're going to be well worth the small amount of effort it takes you to get better with it.